When a shop hands you a repair bill, they're not handing you a receipt. They're handing you a legal document specifically designed to confuse you. Today I'm breaking down the 7 most common scams buried inside your service invoice, what they actually mean, and the exact words to say to get them wiped off your bill before you touch your wallet. Let's get into it. Scam 1. The shop supplies flat rate tax. Look at the bottom of your next service invoice. There's a good chance you'll find a line reading shop supplies, hazardous waste fee, or miscellaneous materials. It's usually 10 to 12% of total labor, capping out between $50 and $100. It looks like a standard tax. It is not a tax. This fee is supposed to represent actual consumables used on your specific vehicle. A squirt of brake cleaner, a shop rag, thread lock compound. Real costs, reasonable to pass on. What it actually is on most invoices is an automatic line item generated by billing software, applied to every job regardless of what was performed. You come in for an engine diagnostic. A technician plugged in a scanner, read the codes, typed a report. No fluids, no rags, no consumables touched. You still get charged $50 for shop supplies that were never taken off the shelf. The most brazen version is a hazardous waste disposal fee on a job that produced 0 hazardous waste. A battery swap, a cabin air filter, a key programming. None of these generate hazardous material. Nothing to dispose of. Pure margin dressed up as environmental responsibility. Your move. Tell the service advisor, "Can you give me the specific inventory list of what consumables were used on my car?" Not a general explanation, a specific list. If they can itemize it, the charge is defensible. If they can't, and most of the time they can't, you say, "If you can't itemize it, I need this removed." In many cases, it comes right off. Either way, you've signaled you're reading every line, which changes every conversation that follows. Scam 2. Double dipping on overlapping labor. This one requires you to look at 2 line items simultaneously, which is exactly why most people miss it. Your invoice shows, replace serpentine belt, 1.0 hours, $150. Right below, replace alternator, 1.5 hours, $225. 2 separate jobs, 2 separate labor charges, totaling 2.5 billed hours. Here's the mechanical reality. The alternator is driven by the serpentine belt. To access and unbolt the alternator, the mechanic must remove that belt first. There is no version where it stays on. They come off in the same sequence, the same access window, as part of one continuous procedure. The belt removal is already factored into the alternator labor time in every professional labor guide. All data, Mitchell 1, Chilton. The industry standard is an overlapping labor rate. Shared steps counted once, additional steps added on top. What the shop is doing is pulling flat rate time for each job independently and stacking them as if performed completely separately. This shows up everywhere. Timing belt and water pump, intake manifold gasket and spark plugs. Any 2 components sharing the same access path, full individual labor on both lines, 0 acknowledgement that half the work was already done. Your counter is one question. These 2 repairs share the same access. Can you adjust the invoice to reflect the overlapping labor rate? An honest shop adjusts immediately because they know the overlap exists. A shop that refuses is making a deliberate choice to charge you twice. Ask to speak to the service manager and repeat it, in writing if necessary. Scam 3. The uncredited diagnostic fee. This one happens before the repair even starts, and it costs you if you don't set the terms up front. You bring the car in with a check engine light. The shop charges you $150 to diagnose the fault. Fair enough, diagnostic time is real labor. Then you approve the repair. The final bill comes back and the $150 diagnostic fee is sitting there as a completely separate, fully charged line item alongside the full repair labor. You paid to find the problem, and then you paid full rate to fix it. The diagnosis was never credited. Here's the industry standard that shops quietly ignore. The accepted professional practice, stated explicitly in most repair industry guidelines, is that when a customer pays for a diagnosis and then chooses to have that same shop perform the repair, the diagnostic fee should roll into or offset the first hour of repair labor. The logic is straightforward. The technician who diagnosed the car is already familiar with the fault, already has the vehicle in position, and is not starting the repair from zero. That overlap in time and knowledge should be reflected on the bill. Shady shops treat the diagnosis as a separate, non-refundable transaction, a toll they collect before the repair conversation even begins. The fix requires one sentence before you authorize anything. When the shop asks you to approve the diagnostic, you say, "I'm authorizing the diagnostic fee on the condition that it's credited toward the repair labor if I choose to have you do the work." Get that confirmation verbally and ideally in writing on the initial work order. That single sentence converts a $150 hidden charge into a prepaid credit, exactly what it should be. Scam 4. The evaporative sanitizer upgrade. This one is almost elegant in how little effort it requires to run. You mention to the service writer that you've noticed a musty smell coming from your air vents. Or maybe you don't mention it at all. They discover it when doing an oil change and your cabin air filter hasn't been changed in a while. Either way, alongside the filter replacement, the invoice comes back with a new line: HVAC deodorizer service, cabin climate sanitation, or evaporator refresh. $90 to $140. Let me tell you exactly what this service consists of. A technician takes a can of aerosol disinfectant spray, the kind that costs $6 to $8 at a parts store, walks outside to the windshield cowl where your cabin air intake is, sprays it in while the AC is running on maximum recirculate for about 30 seconds, and walks back inside. That is the complete procedure. Less than a minute of technician time, less than $10 in materials, billed to you at $120. And here's the problem beyond the cost. If you actually have a musty smell coming from your evaporator, which is a real issue caused by moisture and mold buildup on the evaporator coil itself, a 30-second aerosol blast at the intake does almost nothing to address it. It masks the smell temporarily. A genuine evaporator cleaning requires removing the cabin filter, physically accessing the evaporator housing, and using a proper foam cleaner that dwells on the coil surface. That's a different procedure entirely, and it's not what you're getting for your $120. Decline it entirely. A fresh cabin air filter, which you can buy online for $12 to $20 and swap yourself in 5 minutes with zero tools, eliminates the majority of HVAC odor complaints. If the smell persists after a new filter, a can of dedicated automotive evaporator foam cleaner at the parts store handles the coil directly for under $15. Total cost? Under $35, zero labor charges, and the job is actually done correctly. If you're looking at this video and already mentally scanning your last service invoice, good. That instinct is exactly right. Drop a comment below if any of these have already hit you, because you are not alone. Hit subscribe so the next 3 scams are waiting for you when you need them. Let's keep going. Scam 5. The $80 nitrogen tire inflation upsell. You pick up a new set of tires, or you bring the car in for a routine service, and somewhere on the invoice, there's a line for nitrogen inflation service, or N2 lifelong top-off program. Usually $70 to $100, sometimes framed as already done, a feature the car comes with. The sales pitch sounds convincing. Nitrogen molecules are larger than oxygen molecules, so they seep through rubber more slowly, keeping your tire pressure more stable over time. This is chemically true. It is also the argument used to justify charging you $80 for a gas that is free. Here's the number the brochure doesn't lead with. The air you breathe is already 78% nitrogen. Standard compressed air from the shop's compressor is 78% nitrogen. The premium nitrogen fill gets you to approximately 93% to 95% nitrogen. You are paying $80 to move from 78% to 93%, a 15 percentage point difference that, on a standard commuter car driving normal road speeds at normal temperatures produces no measurable real-world difference in tire pressure stability or tire longevity. This technology has legitimate applications. Commercial aircraft tires run at extreme pressures and temperatures, where nitrogen's reduced moisture content actually matters. Formula One cars use it for the same reason. Your Toyota Camry commuting to work is not a Formula One car. The physics that justify nitrogen in a racing environment simply do not translate to your daily driver at meaningful scale. Your move. Tell the shop to deflate the tires and refill with standard compressed air. If it's a dealership presenting nitrogen as a mandatory add-on package included in the vehicle's delivery prep that you're expected to pay for, decline it in writing on the purchase paperwork. It is not a mandatory charge. It is a profit line that works because most people don't push back. Scam 6. The premature fuel induction flush. This one comes at you from the service advisor with a tone of real urgency. Your fuel induction system is starting to see carbon buildup. We're recommending a 3-step cleaning service to keep your performance and fuel economy where they should be. It sounds like prevention. It sounds responsible. The invoice line reads, 3-step fuel induction cleaning, or EFI carbon decarbonization service. The price lands between $160 and $220, and the shop recommends it aggressively, often every 15,000 to 20,000 miles. Here's the reality. On a properly maintained vehicle with regular oil changes, running quality fuel, a fuel induction flush at 15,000 or 20,000 miles is not a service your car mechanically needs. The procedure involves hooking a chemical cleaning solution to your intake vacuum lines and running the engine through it to strip deposits from the intake tract and fuel injectors. On a high-mileage engine showing actual symptoms, rough idle, hesitation, declining fuel economy that can't be explained by other factors, targeted fuel system cleaning can produce real results. On a 25,000-mile car that runs smoothly, you are chemically cleaning a system that doesn't need cleaning. But the cost alone isn't even the full problem. Multiple major automakers, including Subaru and Hyundai, have issued official technical service bulletins specifically warning that aggressive chemical induction flushes can degrade turbocharger seals and damage catalytic converters in their turbocharged engines. In some documented cases, this preventive service has voided factory warranty coverage because it falls outside the manufacturer's approved maintenance procedures. The defense here is your owner's manual, open to the factory maintenance schedule. If a fuel induction service or fuel system cleaning is not listed at your current mileage, it is not a manufacturer-recommended service. Look the service advisor in the eye and say, "My factory maintenance schedule doesn't list this service at my mileage. Show me where in my manufacturer's documentation this is recommended. And if you can't, take it off the estimate." That question ends the conversation. Scam 7. The $50 battery terminal reconditioning. Last one, and it's almost insulting in how simple it is to run. A mechanic does a complimentary visual inspection during your oil change. They spot a small amount of white powdery buildup on one of your battery terminals. Corrosion, completely normal, something the majority of cars over 2 or 3 years old will develop to some degree. On your invoice, a new line appears. Battery Preventive Maintenance Service, or Terminal Anti-Corrosion Treatment, $45 to $60. Here is the complete procedure that $60 buys you. The technician pours a small amount of warm water or a teaspoon of baking soda solution over the terminal to neutralize the acid residue. Wipes it with a rag. Sprays a quick blast of red anti-corrosion lacquer aerosol, the kind that costs about $6 for a can that lasts years, over both terminals. Done. Total technician time? Under 3 minutes. Total material cost? Under $1 per vehicle. There is no skill component here. There is no specialized tool. There is no knowledge that the average driver doesn't have after watching a 2-minute tutorial. This is one of the cleanest examples of a shop billing professional labor rates for a task that requires neither professional skill nor professional equipment. The fix is exactly what you'd expect. decline it. A wire battery terminal cleaning brush costs $4 at any auto parts store. Baking soda and warm water cost essentially nothing. A can of terminal protection spray costs $6 and treats 10 cars. You can do this in your driveway in 5 minutes, and the result is identical to what the shop would have charged you $60 to perform. How to read your bill before you pay. Now let me give you a framework for the moment you're actually standing at the counter, because everything in this video means nothing if you hand over your card before you've done this. Rule 1. Never sign an open authorization. Before any work begins, the shop asks you to sign an authorization for repair. Most of those forms say something like, authorization to perform repairs as needed. Do not sign that. Cross it out and replace it with a not to exceed cap, a specific dollar figure written on the work order that the shop cannot exceed without calling you first. If they find additional problems mid-repair, they call, explain, get your verbal approval, and update the estimate in writing. That cap is your legal ceiling. Without it, you have no documented limit on what they can charge you. Rule 2. Sit down with the invoice before you approach the cashier. You are allowed to do this. Take the invoice to a chair in the waiting area, read every single line, and flag anything you don't recognize. If you see an acronym, GOG, EFI, TPMS service charge, whatever, don't guess. Type it into your phone or walk to the service manager and ask, "Can you explain what physical work this code represents on my specific vehicle?" You are not being difficult. You are reading a legal document before signing it. That is the minimum due diligence on any financial transaction. Rule 3. The total labor hours are your audit tool. Add up every labor line on the invoice and convert them to hours. Then ask yourself, how many hours was my car actually at this shop? If the invoice claims 4 hours of labor and you dropped the car off 2 hours ago, the math doesn't work, and the shop needs to account for the discrepancy. Shops count on your impatience and your embarrassment at the counter to clear their profit margins. Take your time, read every line, and demand that every charge be explained in plain English. Do that once, and you'll never pay for a scam you didn't authorize again. See you in the next one.